Thank you for coming today, Kareem. It's wonderful to have you here, presenting your Talvon Talks.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Just wanted to ask you a few questions, and we can start whenever you're ready. Who is Kareem Talvon Hutchinson?
Well, I'm Kareem Hutchinson. Kareem Talvon Hutchinson. I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, by a single parent mother, Regina Ann Hutchinson. Father, Dennis Williams. I was born in Philadelphia, Frankfurt Torresdale Hospital, and then my mother brought me back to Bristol. So I was born in Philadelphia, however, I was not raised there.
How was the environment?
The environment, I can say, was an intense environment. It's not like it was so dangerous. However, intense is the word. Just where you have an environment that is so structured around I'm trying to find the words to describe it. Almost...
Take your time.
Career-driven go-getters. I would definitely say the environment was go-getters. Or opportunist. Because in Philadelphia, you do have the state of the mind of the worker, and then you have the state of the mind of a hustler. So with that being said, there is always that tunnel vision concept, which is the reasoning for the way Northerners are the way they are. Not all of them, however, we are fast-paced. When I came down to the South, I remember asking a question or approaching an older woman, and I remember her clutching her pearls.
Not clutching the pearls.
And just in, surprise and shock because of how fast I was talking and approaching so fast. So here I just seen, down south, it seems to be more of a leisure and kind of lethargic way, I can say, just of that more slower feel and slower pace, whereas it is a faster mentality, and I say like sink or swim, where you have to kind of keep up. So yeah, when you're walking on the streets of New York, Philadelphia, it seems like everyone is rude, everyone has somewhere to go. It's because they do have somewhere to go, and we're, have that mentality of, pretty much, if we're not talking to get to where I need to go, then we don't need to be talking at all. So people say that Northerners are rude, and but it's because we have that tunnel vision once we have something going on or somewhere to be.
Well, I can concur. I'm from North Carolina, so we do kind of move a little at our own pace and stuff like that. How was your childhood?
I didn't have a bad childhood, though. My childhood was very, very good. My mother raised me and my older brother that was in the direct house, so it was just the three of us, me, my brother, and my mother. I do have a younger sister on my father's side. However, growing up, it was just the three of us. So me and my brother did have different fathers. So, my mother tried to balance the act of the norm, I can say, and just structure it that way, because my norm was not my brother's norm, and my brother's norm was not my norm. So there will be times where my father wasn't there all of my life, and so my mom would have me on my entire of an entire schedule of my own. Literally, I was in extracurricular activities, whether it was in church, in school. She made sure that, it didn't seem like we were lacking on Fridays and the weekends and stuff like that. She would, do extra things like order out and stuff like that, just to make it seem like, we were not missing anything. And in my opinion, I wasn't missing anything. I didn't know, what it was to have a father. However, the voids were covered and fulfilled by God. I thank God for that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I understand. My mother wasn't there for me in my life, so I understand.
However, growing up, we did move around a lot. I moved around every single year of my life, and sometimes that may seem excessive to other people. Even when I was a child, my friends used to be like, "Is your mom running from the FBI?" Or, are you in the military? And it's because, most people, that is the society and the perception of things. If
That's
you're
true.
not in some type of trouble or in the army, you should be stable. However, my mom dealt with things differently. She believed that if there was an opportunity that she could see, she would take it.
Sure.
No matter how far of a reach that may have been, or even how close in reach that could have been, she made it happen. So I see it as just exposure. I am not scared to go in anywhere in the world, and I'm a survivor. And I also was able to catch on fast by moving around different locations, finding out what this was, what that was, always having things change. So like the dynamics of my situation was constantly changing and stuff like that. So for me, I was able to adapt to change. Now my brother on the other end, he wasn't open to change. And so of course, some of the things that he went through, as far as that situation with us being moved, was probably wouldn't come across the same way, due to, at that time being socially free with his friends and stuff like that. Sometimes that's not accepted by a child or whatever like that, to move from state to state or from town to town, whether it was within the town or without the state and stuff like that. That's not normal for a child to adapt to that, because they have friends and they have, they're social at that point, and they're trying to, find who they are and stuff like that. However, I just literally embraced it and totally took it in an entirely different light.
What's your career like? How long have you been doing it, and what do you see yourself doing, or what are you doing?
Well, career-wise, I've been cooking for well over 20 years. I am 31 now, so it's crazy. My cooking is very international.
How so?
It's very wide range. I grew up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where there is a melting pot of diverse. There's Indians, there's Hindus, there's Africans, there's whites, there's blacks, there's Hispanics and stuff like that. So it's just really a melting pot. And I really, really am thankful that I was not raised in an environment to where it was just one race ruled all, because I think then is where things can get a little well, it's not diverse. It's not diverse to be in an environment to where there's only one thing and you only know one thing. When you only know one thing, you can only react to those things. You don't have the exposure to this or to that. You don't know how to react to this or that. You don't know how to interact with those other cultures because you have not been around them. Some similarities, or what they may think is funny, or their humor, or even ways of reaching them is different. And that's just how life is. Now, of course, I'm not saying everybody, you might know how to approach people or whatever like that, so I don't want to be offensive, but from the majority of it, if you have not been exposed to something, you're not going to know how to deal with that situation. I mean, it's just common sense.
Never thought of it like that.
So when I was 7 years old, my mom started, teaching me and showing me how to cook and stuff like that. And I always loved to cook. I know my grandfather cooked. I wasn't up close and personal and around him like that. My grandmother can cook and bake and stuff like that, but I wasn't up close and personal on her. These people were in my life, however, they were. That's another thing. In up north, you have. I'm trying to put it into terms. You have, whereas we're very, very family oriented. However, it's like that's your lane and this is our lane. So if you had one family member or you had one family, usually they were over there and you were over here. Now, of course, we would get together, and that may have been a little more or a little less lacking of then than it is now. And that's because, with children, people grow and they start bringing their families together. But other than that, it was just like, that's your lane. I'm taking care of business over here. You taking care of business over there. And everybody is kind of like ripping and rolling. I'm only saying that because just to paint a picture, like my family was there and, I had entities around me. But, when your mother is striving to do the best she can and, having you in all type of extracurricular activities, and you're going to school and you're just, a child yourself and stuff like that, you don't have those, you don't have control over who you see in your family. So I always used to look at it as a negative, like, oh, I felt at one point in my career and in my cooking that I could have been more advanced, and I was lacking thereof because I knew other people that grew up on in those environments that I was talking about earlier. They had that exposure of knowing how to break down a cow and knowing how to break down a chicken and stuff like that, from the rooter to the tutor and stuff like that, just from growing up on a farm or having that environment of being down south and stuff like that, exposed to where there is a lot more cooking and southern hospitality and stuff like that. Even in New Orleans and stuff like that, to where that stuff is embedded in their roots and and in their genes and genetically. Everyone can cook and stuff like that. And like I said, don't hold me to all of my words, because there is there's scenarios in everything. So everything that I say is not just factual, or that may be true or my opinion and stuff like that, but don't hold me or be so technical to where, everybody can't cook, which, I understand that.
Right.
I'm just saying the bigger picture that I was looking at it is like my other colleagues in school, whatever like that, they were always even, taught by their grandparents or up underneath. They had a visual aid at all times, or different scenarios and stuff like that. And I feel like I didn't have that.
Okay,
and
sure.
So it made me want and strive for a passion that I already had and a skill that I already had, to want to do more and want to escalate my skills way over the top, because I felt, like I didn't like I was lacking something, or I didn't have the same opportunity as others, or maybe they were more advanced. But it's just funny when you look at your own situation, you look at somebody else's and stuff like that. That, of course, that they're not me and I'm not them. So of course, even me looking at it like that, I took a totally different tactic to it when it comes to cooking, and when it comes to other things and the decisions that I made to get to this point.
Wow. Very interesting. I'm telling you, this is some definitely perceptions that I've never thought that a view that somebody would be coming from. Can you think of a memorable moment that got you into cooking and all? And
well, I can think of a memorable time, and I can continue into the story. When I was 7 years old, my mother began to teach me just little things of how to cook an egg, how to flip it over and stuff like that, how to turn on the stove. Of course, we had gas range then.
I remember those.
I'm like, what's that sound?
Yeah,
it's so funny. Just, back in the day how things were different and stuff like that, or you know, the things that are regular to people they don't pay attention to, but sounds and smells and just using my sixth sense and stuff like that, all of those things really brought it together for me when it came to cooking. You know, you'll turn on the stove and you'll hear and then you'll hear the gas stove light and stuff like that. Like, it was literally an entire adrenaline rush for me and stuff like that. And how you can just take a raw form of an egg or a chicken and stuff like that and literally season it and stuff like that. And I was like, you know, literally it's in the refrigerator and it's looking completely different. And the next thing you know, it's an entire meal on the table and stuff like that. And really, I
love it. I love it. I love it.
For me, cooking really brought it together with the laughs and the smiles and just the look and the reaction on people's face that you get and stuff like that. And even all of the quietness that we experience, because everybody knows, you know, if your food is good, the first thing everybody do is get quiet. Now, there's two reasons people get quiet. Quiet because it ain't good, and quiet because it's good, but you know the difference.
Oh, yeah.
So, I love what I do, and it's just so beautiful when you can get an entire race together, an entire culture together, an entire family together, friends, events, and everybody is just...
That is beautiful.
Having a good time, and it's all surrounded around food and laughter and stuff like that. So I think it's definitely a way out of life in a positive way, even a coping mechanism. Of course, you know, everybody uses food in different ways, and some of those things are positive and negative. Of course, anything that you do and do excessively is not good. So of course,
you're right.
Those things like overeating and stuff like that can be an issue. However, if you take out all of those negatives and stuff like that, you know, you really can find the way to a person's heart and soul and body through food.
That's deep. Any other hobbies or anything, interests you had?
Well, music was definitely another let out for me. I love music. Anytime I experience any pain, any heartache, any emotions, I would just turn on the radio. I would turn on the CD. Everybody knows or can remember a time to where, you know, you play your favorite song and stuff like that, and it just brings you back to that memory or that moment where you were in life and stuff like that. And I think it's really beautiful how you can listen to a song, listen to the melody, the words, and the rhythmic, and the tone and stuff like that, and just have an entire... It's just the entire song is embodied in almost like a symphony and stuff like that. I really love music, and it's definitely a let out for me, and it definitely has freed my soul in the past and allowed me to just get away from the things of the world that were an issue for me. So I definitely use music as a let out and a coping mechanism.
Well, sure, you have to. I mean, I love NSYNC myself. Do you dance? Do you cut a rug?
Well, I love to dance. I love to dance. Of course, that is definitely another hand in hand with music. However, those are two different entities. Dancing also is a way that I allow my body to be free in totality. When I hear music, I just allow my body to take it where it wants to be. I am very high energetic, so usually it could be fast paced, it could be slow paced. Dancing is definitely something that has always been with me and within my spirit, and I definitely can appreciate the art of dance. It's so versatile. You can incorporate all type of dances and stuff like that in one session. It's so funny how even some of this new age and older generation has incorporated dances and stuff like that, and you can literally see the inspiration behind it. You can see Michael Jackson in them, you can see James Brown in them, you can see Usher in them, you can see ballet in some of the choreography and stuff like that. So it's really art when it comes to dancing.
Yeah, speaking of Michael, I'm still learning, trying to catch on to that moonwalk. Any goals? How would you look at life? Do you have a let out, or do you base anything off of anything? What's your concept? How do you do it?
Well, I would definitely say I'm a dreamer. People should not be scared to dream. When you dream, you develop ideas that you never had before. When you dream, you are allowing yourself to have a childlike mind, and sometimes it is definitely okay to have a childlike mind. There's times where I will just watch cartoons or do something or listen to something or watch something that is totally requires no thinking, just something even like I said, cartoons where there is just the pictures and no audio. Sometimes you have to allow yourself to be mentally free, to get away from society, the things that's going on in society. You have to be careful what goes into your mind, and I do believe in a mental vacation.
That's the big one. Well, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
To be honest, I'm still working on that. I'm still working on that, where I am going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. I believe in multiple streams of income. I am working on endeavors in my life constantly, daily, to make sure that these things are properly lined up and properly set up for my future. However, there's so many things that I enjoy that I am not sure where I want to be in the next 5 to 10 years. However, I know
that's okay.
That I'm going to be doing something, and whatever that is definitely going to be more advanced and greater than where I am now.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Well, you've got the right idea, kid. So what would you do if you had the opportunity to do it? You've got the credentials.
That's a good question. If I had an opportunity to do anything, what would it be?
That's what I said.
I would have to take the I would have to cheat on this one and kind of merge into what I said previously. But I'll go and I'll tell a story just to give you receipts on actually what I tend to go through sometimes. So when I did go to college for the first time, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and it's okay not to know what you want to do. For those out there that are in school right now, for those out there that are not in school yet, and even for those that have gone to school and is still in the transitional state to where you have not found your niche yet, even to those that have gone to school and have received a degree and are not using it. I always tell people that you are your own creator, and whatever you want to do, do it. Even if you don't know what you want to do, at least take steps to do something. Once you start taking those steps and stuff like that, most of the times doors open up, ideas are birthed and stuff like that. So as long as you don't keep any doors closed, as long as you're still active in your future, then you'll be fine. You'll definitely be fine. And I'm going to tell this story, and I'm going to conclude. When I first went to college, they said, that's why you don't know what you want to do. You know, they give you those tests and stuff like that that says, do you like dogs? Do you like cats? Do you like animals? Do you like working outside? Do you like bricks? Whatever the questions are, they're random. They want to see, they're testing your mind to see what it is that you enjoy, what it is that you may be engaged in, you know. So they said that that's why that I had such a hard time and always am having a hard time to deciding on what I want to do, because I want to do everything. They say you like dogs, you like cats, you like people, you're a social butterfly, you like agriculture, you love science, you like biology and stuff like that. Like, I loved everything, and even the gifts that I have, like, I'm not bad. I know my math, like, I'm not when it comes to some type of high tech, like physics and stuff like that, math, and when it becomes math and science and stuff like that, that type of stuff I might struggle with. But other than that, I'm better in math than the average person. Agriculture, I love it. Mother Nature, I love it. So it's like, I have all of this energy and stuff like that, and sometimes that is okay, but I'm always working on channeling myself, that way I don't allow myself to be all over the place, in a sense to where things are not organized, or to where you're crowding your plate and things are not cohesive or consecutive. That's one thing that you have to be in any business. You have to be consecutive, because your demand and your clients and people that you serve or whatever that you're doing is going to want to see some type of consistency. If not, you'll definitely sometimes lose that clientele, and you definitely want to make sure that once you build up your clientele, that you keep those people and stuff like that. That's where your money is. That's where your money is coming from. Once those clientele leave, it's like, that's your name. You want to make sure that you're always protecting your brand, always protecting your name at all.
So what's your specialty, chef?
I knew that question was coming. Well, I like to explain it like this. It is good to have areas where you're good at, and it is good to have a specialty and stuff like that. But I don't like when people ask me, oh, what's my specialty, or oh, what can you cook good? I'm not trying to be funny, but the job of a chef is to cater to your client. Whoever that is catering to your demand. Whatever they want, whatever they like, that is your job to conform to that and perform and execute that. Now, if that is not your lane, if that's not something that you do, then yeah, don't agree to that. 'Cause at the end of the day, like I said, it's about your name and stuff like that, and you definitely don't want your clients to be disappointed and stuff like that, or to give you a bad name. So if I said that I was only good at cutting hair, you will only come to me for cutting hair. If I said that all I was able to do was sing, that's all you would book me for, is to sing. So why would I give you a specialty that limits myself? So that's just what it comes down to. I'm never am going to limit myself when it comes to the things that I can do, my craft and my gift, because it is very, very widespread. Even on a spectrum and stuff like that. I'm a writer, I know business, I know finance. So these different things I'm going to have my hands in, and I already have now. And it's just up to you to use your gift and your creativity to gain and get what you want and stuff like that. So at this point, I'm not going to say what it is, because I don't have a specialty. I do have things that I am better at than others, but other than that, I'm a baker, I'm a cook. I started off with savory. Baking has always been natural. I just have been actually doing that actually more than anything as of right now. And it's just all timing and just the demand of your clients. If my clients want sweet tooths, or excuse me, want sweets, that's what I'm going to give them. and then people, you know, they, like I said, anything, other things open the doors for other things. So, you know, they'll see that, and then they'll see this and stuff like that. And there's a lot of competition and stuff like that. And when it comes to competition, there is more than one person in the world that can do the same thing or similar things. So for me, I'm very competitive and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, my food sells itself. I sell myself. You know, my personality and everything else, you know, shows. They all show different things. You know what I mean? So my lane and what I do may not add up for somebody else, but for somebody else, you know, they may be, you know, willing and wanting to work with me. So I just don't look at the things that I'm doing now to be stagnant, or like that's all I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, you know. So for me, I do my due diligence, and I do my advertising and stuff like that, and I put myself out there. But whatever else comes in is up to it. I'm not, you know, working is working, but breaking your back is a different thing. You know, I work harder, not you know, excuse me, I work smarter, not harder. And also I don't believe in double working or whatever like that, you know what I mean? So if you do it right the first time, or you are prepared and organized, usually everything you do is successful. You will have more success than failures, and even your failures will be either a zero or you'll be able to calculate them on one hand, which is good. You know, and also a failure is not a bad thing too, because making mistakes and the perception of failure is not failure. It's really focused and stuff like that, and realizing where you went wrong and stuff like that, and so you can learn from the mistakes and become better. So in my book, failure does not exist.
What endeavors are you working on now, Chef? Can you give us a few things?
Well, I'm working on this year writing my first book. I am a writer, and the book is going to be on life experiences. So pretty much the reason why I started my YouTube channel, and also the reason why I made some adjustments and stuff like that, because I was private on every social platform. I always have been a private person. However, I felt like my calling was to reach individuals on a wide variety and platform, because I know what it's like to struggle with an issue and no one is helping you, or no one is giving you the answers to the success of the end of your situation. So I'm like, everybody's always telling me what I need to be doing and what I should be stopping doing, but no one's giving me the key concepts of how to do it. So I decided to give that, and even in other people's situations, I decided to feature people that are going through those situations. That way those out there can be transformed and by the renewing of their mind. It is a saying that is very popular, but the meaning is far more powerful and important. When you're transformed by the renewing of your mind, one is literally transitioning, stops doing the things that they used to be doing on a surface and spectrum, to where they were not themselves. Everyone at one point loses themselves, and it's up to that person to get them back on track. And sometimes it's not that easy. So this is the reason why I decided to become my own public figure. And saying that it's also purging my spirit and healing me from my past endeavors and my past issues and stuff like that. and also making me a better person.
Bettering lives, bettering lives. That's good. That's good. That's good, Kareem. That's good, Chef. I like that. So with your YouTube channel and bettering your lives, empowering and educating, what else do you plan to do with your YouTube channel?
So with the virtual page that I created, it would allow me to do multiple things at one time. With my social media being public, with my YouTube page being up, I'm able to virtually create almost the same thing as a book. I'm able to virtually reach multiple people. I'm able to express myself whenever I feel this way or that way, because I know that I'm not the only one feeling these feeling that way. I know others feel the same way or have experienced some similar cases. So with me creating a YouTube page and stuff like that, and also my social media being public, I'm able to anticipate multiple endeavors that I'm working on. So my first book, when it is released, I'll already have a little bit of a following. I already have a platform where I can advertise, and it's not like my book will be going from scratch. Again, I can't say this enough. I believe in that life is inevitable without knowing and understanding and having the knowledge of other people's life experiences and other people's mistakes, because how can you learn any other way? When you're brought into this world as a child, you have to be taught no before you're taught, or excuse me, you have to be taught yes before you are taught no. You're automatically being the act of someone having to tell you no, because the child in their mind is automatically susceptible to learning and knowing how to do bad. Why is it that the human is birthed into this world doing things that are not supposed to be, like, you know, a baby touching an outlet, you know what I mean? It's like you have to teach them good concept and morals and values that are not birthed in them. Why is a negative, and why is something else birthed in them? Like, why are they just knowing automatically? And it is the act of the unknown, or the act of ignorance or not knowing. When you don't know, you know, you can't perform, you can't do well. So I just think that it's my responsibility and the responsibility of a human being or others to just help anyone along the way, because you never know where you may be. And I also just know where I have come from and where I've been, and through homelessness and through all type of endeavors, to where I had to not struggle but find creative ways to survive. And that's definitely what I am. I'm a survivor.
Well, yeah, nowadays you gotta be a survivor. Gotta be a survivor. What's your favorite food, Kareem?
My favorite food? Oh my gosh. My favorite food would have to be seafood, I guess. Seafood, I love crab legs, I love oysters, I love mussels, I love sushi, I love shrimp, I love...
Oh, sushi. What else? What else?
I'm not a big fan of lobster, but lobster is good.
What?
I love octopus.
You're not?
Yes, like, I'm definitely a seafood person.
Octopus? Oh, yeah, well...
Yes, you never had octopus before?
I mean, it's an acquired
Octopus
taste.
is so good. Like, I don't know. And see, it's our culture. I really, like I said, like, my black culture, oh my goodness, so like that. Y'all want to eat certain things, but other things y'all not open to. I mean, calamari is the same thing. Like, but people only eat it because it's fried, and it is the tentacle part.
Yeah,
but octopus
that's true.
is the same thing. It's just the body of it. It's a little, you know, more of an acquired texture and acquired taste. But, you know, we have to open up our horizons just as a whole and not just be closed-minded and stuff like that. It's so funny how people can enjoy apples and not applesauce, and like cranberry juice but not like cranberry sauce, or like the cranberry sauce that doesn't have the actual whole cranberries in it. Because I'm not gonna lie, that's me. I love me some cranberry sauce, but when it comes to that whole cranberry and you spitting stuff out of your mouth and the whole I don't need all that. Just give me the regular cranberry sauce that's gelled or whatever and stuff like that, and pureed all the way through to where I can just and I guess that's a texture thing. People are so funny when it comes to textures. My friends are like that. I have very, very picky friends, and I have yes, let's just keep it at that. I have very picky friends to where they don't do leftovers and everything else like that. So to each his own. It's also beautiful, getting to know a person and their ways and how they interact with others and how they just are in life. It's just so funny when you really develop a relationship with anyone.
Yes, developing relationships is great. Do you have a best friend? What's his name?
Well, it's funny that you asked that. My best friend, yes, I do have a best friend, and we will always be best friends. And I am going to leave it at that because I am not going to name drop and stuff like that. But for those that know or whatever like that, and I don't want to offend any of my other friends and stuff like that either. So let's just leave
that's
it at
true.
that.
That's true.
Everybody knows.
Here's something else.
And also your friends and who they hang out with and stuff like that, and who's they're close to. So
yeah, my friends can be jealous.
Next question.
No problem. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color would be red. It's vibrant, it's loud. I'm loud sometimes, and can be gregarious. But gregarious is not a bad thing. Even if you look it up, it means loud, outspoken, and stuff like that. I don't think that's bad. And it's so funny. I used to get timid when I was around people and stuff like that, because I'm already 6 feet tall and I already I don't require attention, but it's like as soon as I walk in a room, everyone looks. It doesn't matter what I have on my body or nothing like that. It's just I'm really tall, and it just seems like when I walk into a room, I command a room. And so now knowing that when I'm older, I actually use that to my advantage, and not in a bad way, all positive and stuff like that, just to bridge that confidence and stuff like that. So you have to know your strength and rooms of opportunity, because remember, we don't use weaknesses. So yes, instead of using your strength and weaknesses, use your strength and room for opportunity, and use those things to your advantage. So if you know that you can command a room, go in there, prepare your speech, be prepared, be organized, and command the room. So I used to not like that though at first. I come in and everybody's looking and staring or whatever like that, and you kind of want to go like this into your shell or whatever like that. But now, and I also used to be outspoken, but there's a difference between talking a lot, being outspoken, being loud, and so there's levels and elements to that, and you just have to have that perfect balance and stuff like that. It's really all about getting comfortable with yourself and stuff like that. Once you know who you are and you have that confidence like I was talking about, and you become comfortable, everything else will follow.
You're right about that. I've been doing these interviews for a while, and I definitely had to get comfortable. What's up with the hair?
Well, I'm glad that you asked. I've always been very, very unique. Like I said, you can't put me into a box or a category. So I don't believe in any shape or form the perceptions of what a man is supposed to be. I don't believe in social norms and stuff like that. So I would never, ever conform to the world and its perceptions or whatever like that. I love to wear my hair long. I always have being almost obsessed with hair. I love also versatility. I love the fact that I can create a look even from my environment and where I come from, being in Philadelphia, and even the things that I was subjected around. It was always like you know, I could create a look, anything that I wanted to look like, or anything that I wanted to persuade, and that meaning persuade myself and stuff like that in a different light and stuff like that, or manipulate my looks. I'm gonna do it. Why not? You know, I'm very versatile with my style and with my look, and I'm never gonna allow anybody to box me. Not a job, not any type of money or anything, because once I leave this world, that's going to be it. Who did I live for? I live for me. Since day one, I was true to myself. Since day one, I know who I am, so I don't worry about what other people think. I love wearing weave in my hair, if that's what people want to call it and stuff like that, extensions or whatever, and that's just how I express myself. And it's so funny that people always want to veer in on that, because it's like, I know how to carry myself. You know, I'm not gonna go into, I'm not gonna get off of a job where I was just, where the job was me being a clown. So you got the red nose on and you got a wig on, and now you're leaving your job and you have an interview at somewhere else. I'm not gonna put on that same damn clown outfit. It doesn't make sense. So it's like, I know how to carry myself, and if I have an event, or if I have somewhere to go, or if I have somewhere to be, you don't think that I'm going to conform to that environment or that event? Of course, yes, it's different to carry yourself one way in your life, but when you are doing certain things, or you know, you have to at least conform slightly. And I'm almost contradicting myself, but not really, or like that. If you really pay attention to what I'm saying, it's just like, of course, you're not going to go into a funeral or whatever like that with something just totally left field on. Most people wear black at a funeral, if it's a color theme. And I'm just saying, you know, you have to know your lane, and then you also have to know the lane where you're going. And if I know where I'm going, or I'm going to, you know, you just have to know how to carry yourself. And I know how to carry myself at the end of the day. So whatever I do in my personal life, or how I choose to look on the surface, or what makes me feel happy inside, that's what I'm going to do. And that's always what I'm going to do.
Well, sure, I see nothing wrong with it. Thank you for clearing it up, and for the validation and confirmation that we really don't need. You know, this is what you were talking about. Any kids?
Well, yes, I always wanted kids. I always wanted a girl. For some reason, but it really doesn't matter what God blesses me with. However, at this point in time, I really don't feel like I could bring a child into this world. I think,
why not?
You know, right now I'm just being selfish. Right now I'm just thinking about the heartache and the pain that is going to drag me through, and even the I wouldn't be able to deal with it. I think like the stress would literally kill me or whatever like that. And let me not put anything out into existence, but I think just the total procedure would totally be nerve-wracking like that, because there is people that's positive, HIV positive, that have had kids, but you know, you have to go through different procedures of taking the infected specimen out of the actual semen. So whatever it is that's inside of the semen, before it is inserted into the woman or whatever like that, it does have to go through different procedures to be taken out, so that the HIV strand and virus does not reach to the child. So even after that, you have to go through, you know, appointments and stipulations of 6 months to a year to make sure that the child does not have it, with tests and all type of things and stuff like that. And there's a difference between bringing a child into the world with an ailment of diabetes, of high blood pressure, just hereditary, you know, even unfortunately these learned behavior and these inherited diseases like alcoholism, because I mean, I wouldn't want to pass that on to my child either, but that is hereditary. People don't know, but alcoholism is hereditary. But I would definitely not want to bring a seed into this world knowing that in my opinion, don't have a chance or whatever like that, even though HIV is not a deadly it's not anymore looked at like a death sentence or whatever like that. So, but still, just the thought of not starting out on scratch, and that's my decisions that I made, that I had to deal with, so I don't want to pass that on to my child, the bad decisions that me as a parent made, passing that on to my child. I wouldn't even feel whole or whatever like that. So I'm gonna keep praying and stuff like that, but maybe things will change later down the line, but as of right now, I don't think that I'll be ready for something of that caliber and stuff like that. And it's just the fear of unknown, of unknowing. So that's all that it really comes down to. So yes, but kids are beautiful things. They're a big responsibility, and I have a lot of nieces and nephews and cousins, enough of them to live through, to accomplish that.
Did you want to elaborate?
I was trying to also think about the what I wanted to add on to that. Trying to think.
Take your time. Take your time.
So yeah, we can go to the next question.
Sure. And kids are a mess. They're something else. I got 4 myself. So can we get a little candid? Can we get candid?
Yeah, we can go there.
Well, let's talk about a little bit what's going on right now. Can you give us a little bit of racism? What's going on right now in the current times?
Well, I'm glad that you asked that. And I'm not gonna bite my tongue. So there's two. Let's see how I can put this. There's 2 sides to people. There's the real side of them, and then there's the side that they would love and would like for others to perceive them as. So what comes out of their mouth, they're usually sugarcoating or almost pulling back from their true response. Most of the time,
right,
I do that maybe 5%, but the majority, I'm truthful. Whatever I'm saying is factual. It's coming from the real me. I'm not caring about what anyone's saying. So with that being said, let's talk.
Okay. And we can just touch on it. Just touch on it a little bit.
How I really feel about racism is, and not being ignorant or anything like that, but racism has been here for before me. Racism has been here before me, and I understand it completely. And you know what? Let me say that back. I don't understand it completely. However, I think I have learned to manage it very, very well. And that's learning how to deal with people. Now, yes, anybody could say it doesn't matter how you deal with people. People are still going to be them, which is very true. So that means that you can't control them, right? So all this that's going on right now, we can't control it. So why am I going to worry about a situation that I can't control? Now, that sounds like a very, very ignorant comment, but that's how I operate. I'm not trying to be funny or whatever like that, but I am here in this world by myself. I don't have any kids. I have a mother and father. That's about it. I'm not worrying about nobody but myself. So at the end of the day, I'm setting up things for my future. I'm setting up myself for the things that are around me. Yes, I do have a family. Yes, I do have other people that are going through the same things as I am. But as a whole, it's like some things we can't just sit up there and take on and put on our shoulders, knowing that the consequences and stuff like that. And not even the consequences and stuff like that, but I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'm just going to say that my true ways sometimes are not the same as the rest of society. And at this point in time, I am a black man and stuff like that, and I am going to shed light, and you know, there is going to be a change, but it has to start with us first, and people don't really realize that it has to start with us first as a whole. Even the way that you treat your own kind, being black on black, Hispanic on Hispanic, white on white, you know, other races on other races, and it's becoming ridiculous because people are not seeing what they're looking at in the mirror. They're not seeing what they're doing. They're not seeing the role that they play in racism. They're not seeing the role that they're playing in the lack of equality, because there's not equality here. There's not equality. Equality does not live in America. You know, you have, you know, we know what's going on. I don't have to say it. Black people killing black people killing gay people, black people killing trans or whatever like that. And for what? Because of something that you feel inside of you that you don't know how to deal with. Like, you know, so it's like pointless killing, and then people want to say and have an opinion about all of these things that they play a part in at one point in time. And if they didn't play a part in, they know people that have played a part and they didn't say anything. That's still a part of the problem. Yeah, so without going into too much depth on that, let's just keep it to questions of myself, because this is my autobiography interview. Next question.
Well, sure. Just describe yourself.
Kareem Talvon Hutchinson is love. Kareem Talvon Hutchinson is pure. He is not perfect. He is incredible. He is indescribable. He is unique. He is unchangeable. He is focused. He is resilient. He is powerful. He is me. He is indecisive sometimes. He is gregarious sometimes. He is outspoken. He is opinionated. He is a realist. He is a family-oriented man at the end of the day. I love my family. I love my friends. I love my associates. He is a creator, an entrepreneur, a writer, an author. Kareem Talvon Hutchinson will always be an inspiration to people. I'm empowering and educating. I'm still educating myself. I think that's it.
Are you sure, Chef? Well, just go ahead and conclude for us.
Because at the end of the day, what they cannot say about Kareem Talvon Hutchinson is Kareem Talvon Hutchinson has never been in a position to where I have deterred or damaged my name. So I thank you for this interview.
No problem, Kareem. No problem.
Thank you so much. Again, my name is Kareem Talvon Hutchinson, and I thank you for joining. Feel free to tune into Talvon Talks, and we'll see you next time.